Hello all, I'm Tina Marie J. Welcome to my channel. I want to talk a little bit about a word, and that word is bitter. Are you bitter? Or are you rightfully angry? There is a difference. I believe that there is a difference. When I started doing these videos, I did get that quite a few times. People would say that I was bitter. People would tell me, oh, you sound like you're bitter. I think you're bitter, blah, blah, blah. And that pissed me off even more. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of you are bitter. Some of you are very bitter. And I can understand why, coming from a cult. I can definitely understand why. So I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. In the very beginning, yes, I was very bitter because I was dealing with a lot of resentment, and the way I felt, I was riding off of my emotions a lot, which is totally normal. That's totally normal. So if you are right now in a state where you are harboring a lot of bitter emotions, you're feeling resentful, and it's more than just hurt and anger. It's like you're holding it all together inside. And I'll give you guys an example. If a person tells you they're a Christian, and in your mind you're like, I don't like this person, they're probably just like the people in the cult that I used to go to, then maybe you're a little bitter. Because if you are feeling like just because you were in a bad church or whatever cult organization you were a part of, and now you feel like anyone who's in anything similar to that organization or group, then you probably are bitter if you feel like you can compare them and say they're both the same, when really they're probably not. I mean, obviously not all churches are the same, and I've always said that. Not all people are the same. Just because you were a part of an abusive cult that just screwed you over so bad, does that mean that every church is gonna be like that cult? No. However, this is where it's okay to justify. Now you have to understand something. For an individual leaving a cult, there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot going on inside. There's a lot going on emotionally. There's a lot going on mentally. Even physically, there are people who are affected. That individual who left, that ex-member, does not necessarily know how to process everything right away. They don't know how to organize their emotions and their feelings and how to get their thought processing towards a track of healing just yet, because they're going through a grief, they're going through a loss or some sort of a sense of loss. That person who left the cult may be feeling a certain type of emotion that they've never quite had before, because they believed in something and put so much time and dedicated so much of their time and their energy into believing in a system or believing in a leader, just to find that it's not who they thought or not what they thought. So when I first started this channel, the beginning of my videos, I was pretty pissed off. And every now and then, I may still feel that emotion. Am I going to try to hide that? No, I'm not. Why? Because this is the real me. And this is a person coming from a cult. This is a perfect example of someone who is going through processing those emotions and going through trying to figure out, how do I put these emotions out without hurting anyone? Because enough people have been hurt already. How do I put out my emotions without offending anyone? Because enough people have been offended already. Sometimes a person who left a cult may come off very defensive, or they may unintentionally offend others, or maybe intentionally offend others because they just don't care. Some people become an atheist, and it starts out of anger. I've seen it. Some people just decide, like myself, they don't want to be labeled any kind of religion. And other people who are a part of a religion may take it offensively, because to them it's like, wait a minute, you used to believe in what I believe in, now you're telling me you don't believe in God, you don't believe in Jesus? And they may take it offensively. If you are not a cult member, or if you're a family member of someone who you believe is in a cult, or who left a cult, I should say, try your best not to take it offensively if that person doesn't want to believe in anything. So the way I see it is, in our minds, it gets completely screwed up when we leave a cult. We believe in one thing, we have our trust in one thing, and we try so hard and we work so hard to be this person who can deserve a love or deserve some sort of appreciation and respect, just to be told that we are not good enough, we're not well enough, we're not spiritual enough, we're not fruitful enough, whatever it is, you end up giving up. And when that person gives up and leaves the cult, they essentially feel like, I don't want to have anything to do with anything spiritual. Because it's safer to not have anything to do with anything that's spiritual, or anyone who is spiritual when it comes to religion, I should say, than to put a couple of eggs in a basket. We would rather, as ex-cult survivors, not put any eggs in the basket. And from there, sometimes you will see the bitterness come out. Now, the reason why people don't like to be called bitter when they left a cult is because it kind of takes away from the person's pain. And when it comes to dealing with someone who's in a cult, you really have to try your best not to minimize the situation. They're very fragile. Imagine an ex-cult member as someone who's extremely fragile, someone who's just going through so much pain, and it's so easy to tick them off. You want to really be careful and have enough empathy that you can filter what you say and filter the way you behave around the person, and that you don't come off as a trigger for that person. To be told that you're bitter, it's like being told you're just mad because you wasn't good enough for God, and you're just mad because you didn't want to follow the Bible, and you didn't want to do what the Bible says, and you wasn't fruitful enough, and you're just mad. That's all the person hears. They're not hearing any apology. They're not hearing, I hear you, I can't understand, but I can empathize. I'm sorry you went through this. You should never went through this. I feel pain for you. They're not hearing any of that sensitivity. All they're hearing is judgment. And for a person who comes from a cult, all they feel is judgment. Because when you're in a cult, you're trying your hardest to be this great person, and every time you're pushed down several levels, you feel judged. You feel like you're never going to get up there. You're never going to climb that ladder. You take a few steps up, you take 10 steps back down. It just feels like you're never going to get to this destination. For me in my church, it was getting to heaven. Every time I took several steps up, I thought I was getting better as a spiritual person. I thought that I was doing better with my spiritual growth. A member or my discipling partner would come in and just push me right back down, be like, no, you're not there yet. No, you're not good enough yet. No, you're still spiritually struggling. What happened? When I left, I didn't want to be a part of anything. I didn't want to be a part of any of that. I didn't want to be around people who are like that, and I still don't, because it is a process, and it is becoming easier for me. Which is why in my last video I talked about my positive experience of going to church this past Sunday. Though it was a very positive experience, I also am aware that I have to be very careful with how much of myself I give out. Because even if the person has good intentions, and the church has good intentions, and they come from a good loving heart, it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna get hurt, because it can still trigger me. They could be the sweetest person, but then I'll remember, well, wait a minute, when I was in the other church, they were super sweet to me too, and then all of a sudden, here we go, another panic attack. Now let's talk about anger. I actually make exactly 2 years at the end of this month, and we're in December right now. And since I've left my cult, In the beginning, I felt extreme anger. I'm talking, I felt so betrayed. But as time went on and went on and went on, I was able to start to overcome it, and the anger started to turn into something else. It started to shift a little bit more into feeling hurt, and that shifted a little bit more into another emotion and another emotion. It doesn't mean that I don't still have anger. Anger is gonna last for quite a while, as I said before, but I learned how to filter the anger, how to release it in a different way, which is where I spoke about journaling, which I will have above, so make sure you check that out. I was able to learn how to monitor my emotions so that I wouldn't release it and just vomit it up and then later on regret it. If a person is going through anger, let them be. Let them go through their anger. Let them process that emotion, because what happens is that if you, the person who has never been in a cult, try to get in a person's space and who's been in a cult, and you try to interfere with their emotion and interfere with the way they're processing it, you're just gonna make matters worse. You're just gonna make the person feel worse, judging them and criticizing them. You're not really helping. If you are the person who was in a cult, allow yourself to go through the emotion. Allow yourself to process it. Allow yourself to deal with it. You're gonna have to learn how. You're gonna have to learn how to get through it in ways that's healthy. Healthy ways, guys. Healthy ways. We're not violent here, okay? I'm here to help you guys with that. I'm here to help you get through your pain, process it, learn how to manage it, and most importantly, grow through it. Because after you have learned how to manage whatever hurt, anger, resentment you're going through, you're gonna have to grow through it. Not go through it, grow through it. You still have so much more of your life that you need to live out, you need to enjoy. And you can't enjoy it if you are stuck in the past and if you're stuck in your feelings. Sometimes we get stuck in our feelings because we don't try to come out of it when we initially feel it the first place. So what you have to do is allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel whatever you have to feel. If you have to yell, scream, you have to hit a wall, you have to cry, you do it. Because this is really helping you. Maybe in that moment you may feel like you're being too emotional, you may feel like it's not helping, but it is. And trust me, I know, because I've done it all. Except for hit a wall, I didn't hit a wall. So before you go telling someone that they're just bitter, minimizing their experience and their feelings and their emotions, allow them to go through it and allow them to grow. Allow them to feel. Allow them to be bitter. If they're being bitter, fine. You want to call the person bitter? Alright, they're bitter. Put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if it were you? It's totally normal, and only people who have been in a cult can totally understand that. If you've never been in a cult, or you've never been hurt spiritually, then you would not know. Real quick, before you guys go, don't leave yet. On my website, hellobeautiful.hellolife.com, which I will have the link to down below in the description box, I have a free affirmations, positive daily affirmations PDF, which I would love for you to have. It's my gift to you guys. Rebuilding yourself and changing your mindset and clearing your brain of all the bull crap you've gone through and all the bull crap that has been told to you. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. If you like this channel and this video, make sure that you subscribe. My Instagram link is down below, as well as my Twitter, and my email is also down below. So I will see you guys in the next video, which is tomorrow.